Hi everyone, good evening. What an eventful day today, 15th of July 2022. I'm sure most of the class 12 students will remember this day, those who have given their board examinations this year, those who have finished their schooling this year and are about to get into a dream institutions, and those who appeared for the CUET examination today. I'm sure all of you have understood the debut of the exam was today, actually, in that sense. So, first time we have an exam which is going to be the gateway for as far as admissions to the top universities and colleges, including SRCC, St. Stephen's, Hindu, Hansraj, BHU in Varanasi, Allahabad University, JNU in Delhi, University of Hyderabad down south. So your aspiration as far as these colleges, you're talking about the various courses you are aspiring for, your dream of getting into these colleges, the gateway is going to be the common university entrance test, and it all started today on 15th of July at 9 a.m. So the first slot was conducted today in morning. The second slot got over an hour ago, actually. So uh, let me introduce you to the panel today. And today we have Mr. Deepak Madan, who is one of the mentors at Career Launcher. I also have Vedant. Vedant is from Nagpur and he is a student from Bhavans Vidyalaya in Nagpur. He gave his CUT examination today in the first slot. I also have Vasu. Vasu also gave the CUT examination today from Commerce Stream, and Vasu is from Amity International School, Sake. So we have three people here who can share their hands-on experience, because Deepak also appeared for the examination today. And like we do at Career Launcher, so wherever possible, we all appear for the examination. I'll be doing so in the second phase because unfortunately my exam has been scheduled in the second phase. So I missed the action on the very first day. So very interesting insights and learning today, actually being the first day. I'm sure all of you have been following throughout the day, those who have the exam tomorrow or maybe on 19th or 20th, or maybe in the second phase in August, actually. So, very interesting things happened today in the examination. So, we'll be talking about that. We'll also talking about the difficulty level of the paper, what you can expect in the subsequent days, and a very important information as far as Delhi University selection process is concerned. I'm going to share about that during the course of this session. Okay, so before I go ahead, I would first want Deepak. This question is for you. You gave the examination like a student today, actually, and you got a first-hand experience. I would say you are really fortunate to have the first slot today, actually, because पहली बार ये एग्जाम कंडक्ट हो रहा है, और जितने बड़े यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, स्पेशली दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटीज, जिसके लिए सबसे अधिक एप्लीकेशंस भी आए थे, 6,34,000 applications आए थे for the same intake, which has been there for years now. And you, I believe, are one of the most fortunate ones amongst us कि आपको अब first day, first show की opportunity मिल गई. So can you share your experience before the exam started, how it all went actually?
Sure. Thank you, Amiterndra, for the opportunity. And let me run each and every student watching this, YouTube live through the complete process so that you can visualize what you are going to experience when you're going to write this exam in the coming days. So the entry was normal. I was frisked, then I was scanned. My pick was taken. A room was allotted and it all went scheduled. By 8:30, the gates closed. I was at the venue almost 45 minutes to an hour before the start of the examination. So it was pretty smooth. I was allotted a comp lab. The cubicle, the desk had the number and my name, my pick was right there on the screen when I entered the hall. So that was the scene. When I entered, so one important thing which each one of you should note it down is the moment you sit on your desk, there is a window where you need to log in, and the login password is your date of birth. So it is DDMMYYY. So your date of birth. So the moment you sit on your desk, immediately आप अपना डेट ऑफ बर्थ पे एंटर करें और अपने स्क्रीन के अंदर लॉग इन कर जाएं, सो दैट द इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर राइट देयर ऑन योर स्क्रीन. सो आपके पास सामने जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस आएंगी वो सारे सब्जेक्ट्स की आएंगी, विच इंक्लूड्स इंग्लिश, domain subjects, and the journal test. So instructions for maths and instruction for computer science. So you will get instructions for all the subjects irrespective of आपने क्या choose किया है. So spend your time, go through the instructions carefully, comfortably, because you will be at your desk almost 30 minutes before the scheduled time of the test. ठीक है? So आप उनको instructions को पढ़ेंगे, which are the subject specific instructions. And at the bottom of it there is a tick mark button. You will accept it, move to the next screen. Now the next set of instructions are the journal instructions, which are applicable to each one of you. They are common instructions. You will follow that. As a part of the journal instruction, if you read the admit card and the instruction, it's written you are not supposed to wear a watch. Neither an analog watch is allowed nor a digital watch is allowed. So I was not wearing a watch, and during the complete process I was missing it. When will my test start? So the moment I clicked on the first screen, which was the journal instruction, and then I entered into the I submitted the button. During the complete process I was missing what is the time right now, and I requested the invigilator there, sir, there is no timer on my screen. I will not get to know, मुझे पता नहीं चलेगा 9 कब बजे हैं, प्लीज आप बता दीजिएगा when to start the test. So you must follow that very very carefully. Tell your invigilator at least 1 minute or 2 minutes before the test starts, which is the 9 o'clock. They should inform, they should announce it that the test is about to start. Please be alert. So that is one important thing. Second thing, as a part of the instruction sheet, it is clearly mentioned हर स्टूडेंट को एक you will get a rough sheet, which was not given to us at the venue. So I had to ask the invigilator, sir, as per the instruction it is written that we need to get a rough sheet for rough work. So he went outside, checked with the seniors, and then he brought a rough sheet. So please demand that you can get that rough sheet right there and then. So these are two important things which I thought you must ask your invigilator. Okay, now the moment the test started, the first slot you will get sections जो आपने opt करे हैं, right? आपने जो भी test opt करे हैं आपको वो दिखेंगे. The most important thing is आपको sequence में नहीं जाना है. It is very clearly mentioned. You can start with any section. जो आपका मन करेगा आप उस section के साथ start कर सकते हैं. I had opted for 4 sections in first slot, which includes English, GT, then उसके बाद business studies and physical education. I had the option to start with anything. So आपको जो comfort zone लगे आप उससे start कर सकते हैं. Sequence is not mandatory. And next important thing is questions की जब वो बात करते हैं, test start होता है, questions are all jumbled up. They are all jumbled up. So जब आप reading comprehension के questions देखेंगे, they are not in a particular sequence. So first question in, let's say, GT is maths, followed by GK, then it is a reasoning, coming back to maths, GK. So they're all jumbled up. Even RC questions are not in a perfect sequence. So there were close to around 3 RC passages. Every RC had 4 to 5 questions, but they will not come to you in a sequence. So 3 questions and then there is 1 RC question. So please be very, very careful. So this was the broad outline of the overall paper.
Thanks, Deepak. I think you have completely elaborated what was the experience, and I think most students, जितने students ने आज exam दिया है, more or less सबका experience एक जैसा ही रहा है. But I think in that sense, I would say Vedant was quite lucky, isn't it, Vedant? क्योंकि वेदांत के यहाँ जो इन्विजिलेटर थे, they were very proactive, I would say. They informed him. So how was your experience, Vedant, when you started with the examination? Were you nervous?
Yes, I was very nervous to begin with because when we started the exam, firstly, there was a huge line of people who were taking the photographs were being taken, the scanning was being done, the frisking was being done, and we were getting impatient. Like, when would it actually start? We were getting impatient as well as we were like, okay, let's hope that this exam takes as long as it does to not start. We were in a perplexed state of mind. Luckily, our invigilators were understandable, and they understood our situation well, and they were pretty lenient with us. They told us when to start the exam and when, like, we can switch or we cannot, and the sheets were also provided on time, so we got lucky.
Okay. Which means every center will have a different experience.
Yeah.
We are getting a lot of queries over here. So I'll come back to that. This is what I will say to my audience. We'll take up your queries. I know you are getting anxious, but एक query का आंसर मैं कर देता हूँ. I think there might be some confusion over there. Yes, जितने लोगों को भी लग रहा है कि एग्जाम ऑफलाइन होगा, बिल्कुल नहीं. एग्जाम ऑनलाइन होगा. और जिनको अभी एडमिट कार्ड पे सेंटर अलॉट नहीं हुआ है उनको बाद में अलॉट होगा. अगर आपका एग्जाम अगस्त में है, सेकंड फेज में है, तो आपका एडमिट कार्ड दोबारा रिलीज होगा एग्जाम डेट से 4 दिन पहले. तो यू नो अबाउट योर डेट्स. जो आपको एडवांस स्लिप मिली है उस पर डेट मिल चुका है, बट आपका जो एडमिट कार्ड होगा प्रॉपरली, जिसमें आपका एग्जाम सेंटर एड्रेस मेंशन होगा, वो आपके डेट से 4 दिन पहले आपके अकाउंट में रिलीज किया जाएगा. This is from a security perspective. So only those people who have their exam in July, they have been given the center addresses. But you have to be really, really careful what happened today. I'm sharing from the
Hmm.
experience of a lot of students. बहुत से लोकेशंस पे, बहुत से सिटीज में सेंटर्स चेंज हो गए कल रात को, जिसके बारे में स्टूडेंट्स को सुबह इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं थी. एंड दे वेंट टू दी ओरिजिनली एलोकेटेड सेंटर, और फिर वहां से उनको दूसरे सेंटर जाना पड़ा. Some students have missed their exam. NTA has agreed to reschedule it for them. So you must still get in touch with the NTA authorities to ensure that your exam is rescheduled in the phase 2. So we'll come back to the audience once again. Vasu, you also gave the exam, first day, first show. So what was your feeling? Nervous? कैसा लग रहा था?
I was a tiny bit nervous about the exam itself, but I was not at all nervous about attempting the exam online for because I have given some other CBT exams before this one as well. So that was a pretty chill process for me. But the exam itself, very less clarity, end time sample papers, they made me a little bit nervous about the exam itself.
Okay. So, other key thing which we have got feedback from a lot of students and parents today is about the technical glitches. So, at most locations, while 3 of you were definitely lucky not to have any technical glitch, but I'm sure, Deepak, you are sharing the experience of your immediate neighbor who was sitting, the student who was sitting next to you. That person faced the technical glitch in the beginning itself. In fact, you also faced, I believe, your system got shut down twice actually. So it's a word of caution for everyone. Please ensure you may, for those who might be unlucky on a given day, there could be technical glitches, but the best part is they are allowing you for that. They are compensating that time. So have that patience. Tension लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. फर्स्ट डे एक्सपीरियंस से पता लग गया है, स्टूडेंट्स को टाइम मिल रहा है. जितना भी लॉस होगा वो कंपनसेट किया जाएगा, आपको एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मिलेगा. सो द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज आप बिल्कुल भी एग्जाम में इन केस अगर आप टेक्निकल इश्यूज फेस करते हो अपने पेपर के दिन, डोंट वरी एट ऑल. जस्ट हैव पेशेंस. किसी भी तरीके की नर्वसनेस लाने की जरूरत नहीं है. You will definitely do well in the examination. Deepak, one thing, or rather, Vasu, I would ask this question to you. The color codes, the ones which were given in the NTA mock, as far as the pellets were concerned, that if you attempt or don't attempt, or if you mark it for review, the colors got changed over here, I think. So, did you notice that, or by chance it happened with you?
Definitely. So, luckily, I read the instructions very thoroughly. I was not in a hurry. And if someone has attempted a mock or an NTA mock or some other paper right now, right? So, there are these blue colored circles, then blue with a green dot that is marked with review but answered. So, this was not the color scheme used in the exam at all. It was completely different. Yellow, blue, red, black, everything was there. So, it was multicolored, very different from what we have seen till now. So if we refer to it every now and then, it is definitely a loss of time. So be thorough with the instructions and just keep it in your mind.
Okay. So the other thing is, Deepak, if you would elaborate on this answered and marked for review, and why one should not actually do it there actually in this paper. Instead, one should mark the questions for review. If at all one is putting a question for review, that should be done on the paper or rough sheet actually. Why it becomes very, very important.
Correct. So if I talk about the layout of the screen, now one thing I will say, जब आप पेपर को स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, जो अमितेंद्र सर ने अभी बताया बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जिसको ध्यान रखना, जब आप the moment you are on your desk, you must log in and check the hardware. So one or two students in my room had a keyboard error or a mouse error. So जितना जल्दी आपने log in किया, आप उतना जल्दी उतना hardware error को eliminate करवा पाएंगे. That's point number one. Now coming down to the screen size, so the view is very, very simple. There is one question on your screen at one point in time. The question is there on the right hand side panel, and the left hand side, the vertical panel is blocked. There are, let's say 50 blocks, 50 squares which are there, every square representing a question. You can click on any of the question number 1 to 50 and that question will appear on your screen. So you will get to see only one question at a time. The complete paper is not there in front of you. Below this particular screen where 1 to 50 questions are written, below that is a summary of that question. So the ones which are marked, which are attempted, are marked with green. The ones which are not attempted, now there are two options. So attempted but marked for review, and not attempted and marked for review. So you had the option of both. So these are the four categories, and very clearly आपको screen के bottom में दिख रहा है आपने कितने attempt कर लिए, कितने अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, कितने अटेम्प्टेड हैं और मार्क्ड फॉर रिव्यू हैं, और कितने नॉट अटेम्प्टेड हैं एंड मार्क्ड फॉर रिव्यू हैं. सो दिस वाज अ क्लियर कट समरी, नथिंग टू पैनिक. इट्स अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल, easy to read layout, and on the right hand side top of it there is a timer which is running. So keep an eye on that. And I was consistently looking at, मैंने अपने 10 क्वेश्चन कर लिए, कितने टाइम में करे, अगले 10 मैंने करे, कितने टाइम में करे. So I was consistently looking at a timer in my mind. So that was my way of looking at it. So it's a very simple layout. Do not panic. Just relax. It was a fairly simple paper, relatively easy. Relax रखिए, ठंडे दिमाग से देना है, panic नहीं करना है. Something goes wrong. My system got rebooted twice. I did not panic. I called the invigilator. They came. They reset my system, and I was given extra 10 minutes. So system gave me that extra 10 minutes. So nothing to worry. Panic में आके नुकसान हो जाएगा. System आपको advantage दे रहा है.
Yeah, so all those who are appearing in the coming days, those who have the exams tomorrow, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, please have that patience. बिल्कुल panic नहीं करना है, and those even in the second phase. Now, before going ahead and talking about the papers, I'll come back to you, all three of you. I would want to share this information, especially the people who are targeting Delhi University. जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए ड्रीम कर रहे हैं, एसआरसीसी जाना चाहते हैं, हिंदू जाना चाहते हैं, a very important information for you. Delhi University has released the tiebreaker criteria in case two students have similar score. And obviously बात है, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का similar score होगा. पेपर आज बहुत ही easy रहा है, except for mathematics. I believe सारे सब्जेक्ट्स जितने भी हुए हैं, ह्यूमैनिटीज और कॉमर्स के ही हुए हैं पेपर, the feedback is very clear. The paper was even easier than the mock which was given by NTA and even Career Launcher actually. So I think the students were well prepared for the examination. And the important news here is Delhi University has released the tiebreaker, and your board marks have become once again very very important. तो जितने लोगों को लग रहा था कि बोर्ड मार्क्स को का टेंशन नहीं लेना है, बोर्ड्स को वैल्यू नहीं देंगे, especially people who are going to attempt the paper in 23-24, please understand Delhi University in a surprise move has considered class 12th board marks results as tiebreaker, which means as good as weightage. अगर मैं कह लूं तो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं होगी. अगर दो स्टूडेंट्स के सेम मार्क्स हुए CUT में और दोनों स्टूडेंट्स सेम कॉलेज और सेम कोर्स के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, सो फर्स्ट लेवल टाई ब्रेकर के तौर पे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी बेस्ट ऑफ 3 सब्जेक्ट्स देखेगी. अगर यहां पर भी टाई हो जाता है, दोनों के स्कोर सेम हो जाते हैं बेस्ट 3 सब्जेक्ट्स में, तो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी बेस्ट ऑफ 4 सब्जेक्ट्स का स्कोर देखेगी. यहां पर भी टाई होने के बाद बेस्ट ऑफ 5 सब्जेक्ट्स का स्कोर देखा जाएगा, और विच इज पॉसिबल कि यहां पर भी टाई होगा गिवन इतने सारे स्टूडेंट्स एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, तो यहां पर भी टाई होगा. तो फाइनली दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स का, कैंडिडेट्स का एज देखेगी, और जो स्टूडेंट ओल्डर होगा, जो सीनियर होगा, उसको प्रेफरेंस दिया जाएगा। अब इसको शॉकिंग कह लो, इसको सरप्राइजिंग कह लो, या whatever you want to call it, this is how Delhi University is going to admit students. So one way or the other, board marks have come to haunt you once again, I would say. जिनको लग रहा था कि बोर्ड मार्क्स की वैल्यू खत्म हो गई है, तो बोर्ड मार्क्स की वैल्यू कभी नहीं खत्म होने वाली थी। टाइम एंड अगेन जब भी हमने सेशंस किया, हमने इसके बारे में बात की है, डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव से बात किया है. सो दैट वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज for all the Delhi University aspirants, and don't get surprised if other universities which are there in CUET also come out with a similar process. It is likely that most of the universities will follow the Delhi University process. Now it's time, I think, to come and to discuss the paper, what happened. While of course we'll not be discussing the questions will not be released by NTA so soon anyways, because a lot of days the exams are going to happen. We'll first start with English. So, Vasu, how was the English paper today? So that's the language which most of the students, in fact, 70% of the students have taken up for the examination. You also gave the paper in English medium as well as English as a language. So what was paper all about? किस तरीके के क्वेश्चन आए, कितना डिफरेंट था मॉक्स वगैरह से?
Definitely an important paper, English one. Very easy. I found it very, very easy compared to any English paper I have seen. You know, very easy, easily doable questions. Some 5, 7 odd questions were maybe tricky, maybe had some wrong options, or maybe had some difficult grammar or vocabulary in them, which I skipped very easily. So if you make the right choices with the questions, it was a very, very easy paper in my opinion.
Vedant, what was your experience for the English section? Did you find it easy or you found it difficult?
It was very similar to that of Vasu. Like the paper was really very easy, except for for a few questions, like 4, 5 questions were there. The options were ambiguous, so one may say that they are a bit controversial. And like there was a question, uh, correct the spelling. A question was there for honorable, and there were two options. One was a British English version, and one was an American English version. So that becomes a controversy. Like, what do you choose? But overall, when we compare it with the mocks that were released by NTA, it was way too easy. And like Deepak sir mentioned earlier, the RC questions were a bit jumbled up. Like you solve one, you immediately and abruptly come across a vocab question, then you get a grammar question, and then again an RC question. So that was a surprise, but it was very easy to solve.
Oh, that's a different experience. I think I have never come
Yeah.
across an examination where RC is jumbled up, actually. Questions in a reading comprehension passage is jumbled up. So I think that is where students have to be really, really careful. और जैसा हमने बताया था, we'll be sharing all the interesting insights today. So thankfully, I'll just take this question from the audience. Biology का बताओ. Biology का बच्चे हम नहीं बता सकते हैं क्योंकि साइंस के सब्जेक्ट्स का पेपर अभी शुरू ही नहीं हुआ है. वो सेकेंड फेज में आएगा अगस्त में. जेई और नीट को ध्यान में रखते हुए जिन स्टूडेंट्स ने साइंस का भी पेपर, कोई भी पेपर ऑप्ट किया था सीयूईटी में, उनके एग्जाम्स सेकेंड फेज में कंडक्ट किए जाएंगे. अभी उन्हीं स्टूडेंट्स के पेपर होंगे जिनके डेट्स साइंड हो गए और उनको उनके कॉमर्स या ह्यूमैनिटीज के रिलेटेड सब्जेक्ट थे अलॉन्ग विद इंग्लिश एंड जीटी, तो उनका ही था. जनरल टेस्ट को लेके बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, एंड आई थिंक दीपक सर, आई कम टू यू फॉर दिस, क्योंकि आई थिंक आपसे बेहतर आप जनरल टेस्ट के फैकल्टी भी हैं, तो आप इसके बारे में अच्छा बात कर सकते हैं. सो हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस? कैसा रहा जनरल टेस्ट? ओवरऑल बच्चों का जनरल फीडबैक क्या था एट द सेंटर?
Amitendra, I'll also like to add to English, where Vedant left. There are one or two more inputs to English there. So, RC, 3 passages, 4 to 5 questions per passage, and out of that 3 were direct questions. So कुछ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. So I first read the question and then went to the passage and do it. So it was a very very easy reading comprehension passages. And English में almost every area was touched. Antonyms, synonyms थे, idiom phrases touch हुए हैं, one word substitution touch हुआ है, one fill in the blank question was there, analogy was there, so spellings, rearrangement of sentences, so almost everything is touched in English. So that was a snapshot from my end of it. Now coming on to the journal test. Now journal test again, questions were jumbled up massively. The first question, I'm not, so was maths. So I was not very comfortable. मेरे को देख के लगा, no, let me skip it. It is going to consume more time, and every question has got equal weightage. So why should I waste my time? मेरे को लगा ये time consuming. I straight away jumped to second. I found that difficult. मैंने कहा, let me skip. Let me move to the third. So I started my paper with third. Every question has got equal weightage, so do not worry. So you don't need to worry. You need to, GT had 75 questions. You are supposed to attempt 60. So take your time. So, you don't need to just start fighting with question number 1. Bilkul nahi karna hai. I did not do that. And I moved to question number 3. So again, questions are jumbled up. So, quant, GK, English, then again reasoning, coding, decoding, again GK. So again jumbled up questions are there. Passages hain, short passages. So then you have sets and subsets, but easy hain. You need to spot your easy question. So it was as simple as, so school, classroom and blackboard. Such a simple question it is. कुछ करना ही नहीं है उसके अंदर में. Now things are, there are 4 options: 100, 1000, million, billion, trillion. Am I right, Vedant? So
Yes,
all
sir.
you're supposed to do is arrange in sequence. How easy! It was super easy question. Spot your easy questions. 75 में से 60 spot करना was not very difficult. That was my way of looking at it. Again, अगर मैं देखूंगा, so I had questions from geometry, missing numbers, one trigonometric identity question was there. Okay, time speed distance के 2-3 questions आए हैं, analogy के आए हैं, then GK simple, CEO of Twitter कौन था, something like that. Then you have to map Modi ji with. So simple questions आ रहे हैं, blood relation के questions आ रहे हैं, directions हैं, coding decoding है. So just choose your sweet questions there. It was not very difficult.
Okay. I think the general feedback जो मिला है कि जो जीके का पार्ट था उसमें मेजरली देखा जाए तो करंट अफेयर्स ही था और बहुत इजी था. कुछ स्टैटिक जीके वाले क्वेश्चंस थे अगर देखा जाए तो, जैसे बचेंद्री पाल वाला जो क्वेश्चन था माउंट एवरेस्ट को क्लाइंब करने वाला, बट मोस्टली स्टैटिक बहुत कम और करंट अफेयर्स पे ज्यादा फोकस रहा एंड स्प्रेड था. मतलब पर्सनालिटीज के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था, बुक्स एंड ऑथर के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था, गवर्नमेंट की इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था, पॉलिटिशियंस के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था, मिनिस्टर्स के बारे में. तो आई थिंक इट वाज अ कंप्लीट बैलेंस अगर हम बोला जाए, विद कंप्लीट फोकस एंड अराउंड 25 क्वेश्चंस. आई थिंक एनटीए का जो मॉक था उसमें 30 क्वेश्चंस दिए हुए थे करंट अफेयर्स के, करंट अफेयर्स और स्टैटिक जीके मिला करके, बट यहाँ पे 25 क्वेश्चंस आए थे और कुछ 22 क्वेश्चंस आई थिंक वाज क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी एंड देन रेस्ट ऑफ देम वे रीजनिंग. Reasoning में visual vocab was there for the benefit of the candidates. Visual reasoning के questions आए थे पेपर में. So little bit of surprise, but वो भी easy रहा I think. So overall GT section जो था वो काफी easy रहा है. That's the feedback which we have received actually. So overall students का experience काफी अच्छा रहा GT को लेकर के.
I would like to add one thing here. I will advise all students to use method of elimination. So when we had these match the column, so usme, if you are able to match one, so there are 4 options on the left and 4 on the right, and you are supposed to match. If you are able to match 1 or 2, you are able to solve the puzzle. So elimination को जरूर ध्यान रखें. It is going to work wonders for you. तो वो ध्यान दें उसके ऊपर. एंड मैच द कॉलम्स में एक अगर मैच हो गया तो बैलेंस 3 को मैच करना मुश्किल नहीं होगा. सो दैट वाज माय स्ट्रेटजी देयर. पॉसिबली वेदांत एंड वासु कैन शेयर देयर थॉट्स ऑन दैट.
Yeah, sure. Any specific inputs, Vedant?
So regarding GT, sir is very apt here. In English too, and in GT, and even in sociology, we observed this, that the match the following options were arranged in a way that one option was there, like suppose an option D is there. So in all the 4 options, you have different options. So if you figure out even one of them, you will get the answer right. You just need to observe that well.
So it's all about being calm. It's all about having that presence of mind, I would say. तो एग्जाम अभी तक मतलब जो आज का फीडबैक है, हमने इंग्लिश की बात की, जीटी की बात की, पेपर बहुत ही आसान आया है. सो ओवरऑल अगर देखा जाए तो let's move on to the some of the domain subjects, and you guys have given. So let me first go to Vedant. Vedant, you also had sociology paper today. Students are asking about that. I'll come to mathematics and commerce related. So because Vasu has given business studies and fiscal, we have questions here. But how was your experience as far as sociology? तुम्हारा एक ही पेपर था आज sociology का, domain subjects की अगर हम बात करें, कितना similar था NTA के मॉक से, या कितना डिफरेंट था, इजी लगा, डिफिकल्ट लगा, पहली बार इस तरीके का एग्जाम लिखा है एमसीक्यू? अगर सोशियोलॉजी में एमसीक्यू की बात करें तो ये शायद मोस्ट स्टूडेंट्स के लिए फर्स्ट टाइम एक्सपीरियंस होगा.
Yes, sir. Like SI similar term one में आता है, except for the fact that that was an offline paper, this was an online one. And sociology was very easy than even the mocks. Like usually what happened was case studies were given, कुछ questions तो उसी में से थे, and basic concepts were analyzed, and not a lot of data was asked, but some questions like who started which newspaper in what period of time, that was asked. But those are some questions that you can skip. So it was a kind of paper that if you know the basics, if you remember what you have studied in term one and term two, even if you just go through the pages, you will get at least 180 right out of 200, just easily.
Oh, it was that easy. मतलब वेदांत इज सेइंग कि अगर आपने थोड़ा भी ध्यान दिया होता तो 180 तो कहीं नहीं जा रहे हैं 200 में, which means the cutoffs are going to be really, really high. And I think we have a similar feedback for even history, even geography, very much based on NCRT. So basically my suggestion to all the candidates is those who have the exam in the coming days, NCRT अच्छे से पढ़ लो, NCRT अच्छे से रिवाइज कर लो, very, very important. मैथ्स के रिलेटेड फीडबैक मैं शेयर कर देता हूं. मैथ्स आई थिंक एकमात्र ऐसा पेपर था आज के डेट में जिसको लेकर के थोड़ा मिक्स्ड रिएक्शन है. Quite a number of students have felt that math was a little bit of lengthy. Questions difficult नहीं थे, but maths का जो पेपर था वो थोड़ा lengthy था. क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में समय लग रहा था, 2 से 3 मिनट का समय लग रहा था. तो उसके हिसाब से जो 45 मिनट्स का टाइम दिया था वो थोड़ा शायद कम होता हुआ दिख रहा था. अदरवाइज if you talk about the history subject, if you talk any of the humanities subject or commerce subject, I think the general feeling is कि maximum students ने जिन्होंने अच्छे से तैयारी की है, they were able to complete the paper well before time. बहुत लोगों ने 40 minutes में ही पेपर कंप्लीट कर लिया है, 5 मिनट बच गए थे उनके पास in fact. So that is दूसरी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज आई थिंक जो हमने डिस्कशन के पहले बात किया था, एंड बिफोर वी फॉरगेट, both Vedant and Vasu, you have shared that. While the instructions mention कि आप 40 से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो, लेकिन काउंट फर्स्ट 40 होंगे, but I think the system did not allow you to go beyond 40. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. It's a better thing actually.
So
Like
which means
if you
any more question you had to delete first.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to delete them. It was a better way because if you attempt more, the pattern was the first 40 questions would be analyzed. So in that way, you have a bad chance of scoring marks, like something might go wrong. So it's a better thing, but it's not in accordance with what was mentioned in the guidelines. They mentioned something else and something else happened in practice.
Before I move on, Deepak sir, we have Shivku here in the audience actually and has a question. Deepak sir, how many questions? Was it 30? I'm not sure if really we have Shivku over here or somebody impersonating him. That always happens on YouTube. But if that, I think you would like to answer this.
What was that?
I think it must be related to the GK part only. So current affairs. But I think it was about 25 questions, isn't it? GK was around 25 only.
GK was around 25, 30 questions. 25 के आसपास questions थे.
Okay. So accountancy, business studies, and economics. Accountancy is again very interesting. मतलब general feedback ये है कि theory based questions ज़्यादा थे, practical approach नहीं था. तो जो जिस तरीके से MCQ में लग रहा था कि मतलब थोड़ा practical होकर के क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे, मतलब जिस तरीके से बच्चों ने, बट थ्योरी बेस्ड था, बट ऑल वाज कन्फाइंड टू एनसीईआरटी. Nothing extra was required. That's a general feedback. Unfortunately, we do not have the panel members who have given the accountancy today, but that's how the feedback has been. Especially economics. Economics initially in the morning slot had mixed reaction, but in the evening slot we have every student we have spoken to, my team members have spoken to. For economics, the feedback is very clear. बहुत easy आया. कुछ एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट लगाने की जरूरत नहीं. अगर हमने जो अपना 12th का सिलेबस है, जो एनसीईआरटी बेस्ड सिलेबस है, जो सीयूईटी ने प्रिस्क्राइब किया था, उसको अगर हमने ढंग से कर लिया है तो इसमें बिल्कुल फुल मार्क्स अटेन किए जा सकते थे विद इन 40 मिनट्स. नॉट इवन 45 मिनट्स वाज रिक्वायर्ड. Coming to Vasu, you gave business studies today. So how was it? How easy, difficult? कितना different था? कुछ नया था उसमें या you were expecting a similar kind of paper?
So I'll take a better thing to compare to, which all children can relate. मेरे को खुद I was not very thorough with the mocks of the NTA. They were already last moment, right? So the best thing to compare, Vedant touched on it, was a term one paper. We also how tricky a BSc paper can be. They can twist things in a way that you can't even answer the out of two best options as well, right? So in my opinion, this was not like that paper. Easier compared to the board term one paper, and it touched on very macro concepts, not even micro, so you could easily answer the paper. I was easily answer to the questions which I did not even study recently. So with the concepts I remembered, I answered those questions and they are correct.
Question is there. Was entrepreneurship asked in the BST paper? Anything related to entrepreneurship?
No, I did not see anything related to entrepreneurship, and there could be two sides to it. Entrepreneurship, something that we have in our 12th books in business studies, and there's another subject as entrepreneurship, which people usually take as a sixth or a fifth subject, right? So I don't think so that the fifth or sixth subject entrepreneurship was there in our paper. It was usually business studies and usual concepts, more about management, basically.
Okay. And you also had physical education paper today, Vasu, actually. And I think when we were discussing that about in the afternoon, you had a very interesting insight to share. So if you can share that with the audience as well.
Definitely. Physical education was the one which really scared me. मैंने उसका syllabus खोला and it did not match with the 12th book. Then somebody had told me that usually some 11th chapters are also coming. I opened the 11th book, NCRT Saraswati publication is what we usually refer to. कहीं पे भी वो chapter नहीं थे. I could not even match the subheads, right? Maybe it would be a different case with some people there. But I studied the normal 12th book, and it was again a very easy paper, easier compared to term one board. And there were like about 20-30% of the answers were there in the question only or in another question. It was this easy. So when they had given passages, there was answer in the passage. You just have to read it and put the answer. It was that easy, just like how expected a physical education paper to be.
Okay. So overall, if we were to sum up this entire examination which happened today, talking about slot 1, slot 2, all of you had exam today in the slot 1 itself, actually. So would it be right if I say that overall the paper was easier? The only issues I think the students have faced to some extent was mathematics paper. While it is not about any errors, fully nobody has spoken about generally in such examination, and when examination is being conducted for the first time, पहली बार जब होता है, errors expect किए जाते हैं, but I think questions को लेकर के कोई complaint नहीं है. जो भी complaint है वो technical glitches को लेकर के है, centers change होने को लेकर के है, किसी भी तरीके का क्वेश्चन में एरर नहीं है. आई थिंक वी मस्ट अपलॉड एनटीए फॉर दिस. इतने बड़े लेवल पे एग्जाम फर्स्ट टाइम कंडक्ट हो रहा है. लैक्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स अपीयर्ड फॉर द एग्जाम टुडे इन द वेरी फर्स्ट डे, and I think they have pulled it off really well, except for those issues I think which are more of logistical. अगर हम बात करें तो which they'll definitely take care of in the coming days. Experience हो जाएगा तो I think वहाँ पे भी improvement दिखेगा. But overall I think to sum up, I think all the papers which happened today were more or less easy actually, and most students felt comfortable. So that would be all, I think, for today's evening. Actually, we'll come back tomorrow again at 8 p.m. Hopefully, we'll have students who will be we'll have more panel members tomorrow. We'll be continuing with the analysis tomorrow. कल क्या होता है उसकी बात करेंगे. कल रात को 8 बजे फिर से सेम प्लेटफॉर्म पे सेम चैनल पे हम आएंगे. But I think before we close this session, yes, the papers will always remain easy. NTA बार बार UGC चेयरमैन ने बार बार बोला है कि एग्जाम इजी होगा, एग्जाम डिफिकल्ट नहीं होगा. और चूंकि पहला दिन अगर इजी रहा है तो आगे के दिन भी वो इजी रखेंगे, क्योंकि देयर इज अ प्रोसेस कॉल्ड नॉर्मलाइजेशन. बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि उनके लिए वो नॉर्मलाइजेशन प्रोसेस फिर डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. सो आई थिंक थोड़ी राहत की सांस ले सकते हो. फर्स्ट डे का एक्सपीरियंस जो रहा है, तो जितने भी कैंडिडेट्स अभी आगे एग्जाम देने वाले हैं, तो आपको टेंशन नहीं लेना चाहिए. पेपर आसान ही आएगा. नॉर्मलाइजेशन उसको ध्यान रख करके ही होगा, तो आपको बिल्कुल टेंशन नहीं लेना चाहिए. बिफोर सेशन, आई थिंक दीपक सर, आई वुड कम बैक टू यू, बिकॉज आपने एक स्टूडेंट की तरह एग्जाम को एक्सपीरियंस किया, बट आप गए थे एक मेंटर की तरह ही, आपको बहुत सारी चीजें पता थी. सो एनी स्पेसिफिक एडवाइस फॉर ऑल द पीपल हु आर कमिंग फॉर द एग्जाम टुमारो और डे आफ्टर और मे बी लेटर?
Sure. So, Amiterndra, I'll just like to add on. I took business studies. I have never studied business studies. I was a science student. I took it for the experience of it. And let me tell you, well, while you were talking about entrepreneurship as a this thing, so there is a clear-cut question which I can think of. So there was some questions which are very, very generic. Even a commerce guy could attend it. So there was question on, not a characteristic of entrepreneurship. Okay, 4 choices were innovation, job seeker, risk taking, organization of production. So it was a fairly simple ask. The second domain I opted was physical education. Again, I have never studied physical education in my life. Okay, and let me tell you, I was able to attempt 40 questions, which I'm pretty sure of without an error. Okay, I did guess that. So I was able to attempt 32 questions out of 40, out of 50, which I'm pretty sure. So my simple advice to all students is, ठंड रखो यार, टेंशन मत लो, सिंपल है. जितना ठंडे दिमाग से दोगे उतना अच्छा होगा. It is going to be, it's a fairly easy paper. Relax. ठंड रख के दो.
One last question I'm going to take up before we close for the evening. ये क्वेश्चन बार बार आता है, हर सेशन में आता है. डिलेटेड सिलेबस आस्क्ड इन एनी डोमेन. डिलेटेड सिलेबस पहले क्वेश्चन होता था, डिलेटेड सिलेबस से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा या नहीं पूछा जाएगा. तो देखो, सिलेबस जहां तक है, forget about deleted syllabus or even forget about an NCERT syllabus or a CBSE syllabus or a UP board syllabus. Best way to look at syllabus is to go on the CUET website. वहां पे हर सब्जेक्ट का सिलेबस दिया हुआ है, आप उसको फॉलो करो. देखो, जो डिलीटेड सिलेबस था वो सीबीएसई के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए था. वो उनकी लाइफ को इजी करने के लिए दिया गया था. ड्यूरिंग कोविड टाइम उनके कुछ पोर्शंस को हटाए गए थे, बट हर बोर्ड में ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. तो आपको एक अनफेयर एडवांटेज था बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के तौर पे. अब वो शायद हट गया है, बट बेस्ट पार्ट ये होगा कि आप जो सिलेबस की बात कर रहे हो, कोई भी स्टूडेंट जो सिलेबस के बारे में सोच रहा है, बेस्ट थिंग ये होगा कि आप सीयूईटी के वेबसाइट, जो समर्थ का वेबसाइट है, आप उस पे सिलेबस के डॉक्यूमेंट को चेक करो. उससे बेटर डॉक्यूमेंट रेफरेंस के लिए नहीं है. लेकिन उसका जो बेस बुक है वो एनसीईआरटी है. और किसी ने पूछा था कि एनसीईआरटी करें क्या? बिल्कुल एनसीईआरटी करें. एनसीईआरटी करोगे तो बहुत अच्छा स्कोर होगा. एनसीईआरटी के ही लेवल को मेंटेन किया उन्होंने. अभी जितने स्टूडेंट्स का फीडबैक आया है, वी हैव स्पोकन टू मोर देन 100 स्टूडेंट्स, सबका यही कहना है एनसीईआरटी बेस्ड ही था. और जो एनटीए का मॉक था उससे कहीं आसान था पेपर. सीएल के मॉक से भी थोड़ा आसान था पेपर आज का. इनफैक्ट एक फीडबैक ये भी था कि इंग्लिश के पेपर में 2 क्वेश्चन ऐसे थे जो सीएल मॉक से डायरेक्टली मैच कर गए थे. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज रियली हेल्पफुल फॉर द स्टूडेंट. बट देन आई थिंक द बेस्ट पार्ट इज पेपर वाज इजी. किसी को टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, एज दीपक सर सेड. एंड आई थिंक वेदांत और वासु ने समझा दिया. उन्होंने फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस किया था इस पेपर को. आई थिंक दैट वाज really great. In fact, they have found the paper easy. All the candidates have found the paper easy. तो अगस्त में जिसका क्वेश्चन था कि टफ होगा क्या, बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. अगस्त में भी आसान आएगा. हो सकता है इससे भी आसान आ जाए. So with this, I would like to thank my colleagues, my panel member, my colleague Mr. Deepak Madan. आई वुड से अगेन एक बार आप बहुत ही फॉर्चुनेट रहे, फर्स्ट डे फर्स्ट शो गए, मतलब नॉर्मली मैं हर एग्जाम लिखता हूँ बट इस बार मौका नहीं मिला. And thank you to the students, Vedant, who has joined us from Nagpur, and Vasu. So thank you both of you actually to have come back. अभी मुझे पता है आपका नेक्स्ट स्लॉट अभी बाकी है, बाद में होगा, बट यू स्टिल अग्रीड टू कम ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म एक्चुअली हैविंग टेकन आउट टाइम. So thank you so much, and thank you to all the audience, and best of luck. Deepak, yeah, you wanted to say something.
One last thing, we are teaching so many kids and 22 target years. Students are writing the board this year, writing the CUET for the first time. मैं बहुत सारे बच्चे मेरे पास आके परेशान होते हैं, दुखी हो रहे हैं कि उनके साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. I must say you are lucky. Students who are writing CUET for the first time, because the NTA chairman, everyone has been saying again and again, for the first time जब भी एग्जाम होता है, it is relatively easier. So आसान एग्जाम है, मूविंग फॉरवर्ड क्या होगा वी कांट से, बट यू शुड नॉट फील वरीड. इट इज अ रिलेटिवली सिंपल पेपर एंड यू गाइज आर लकी, सो बी थैंकफुल. सो परेशान मत होइए, especially students who are writing it for the first time. Whenever an exam happens, we have been saying it again and again and again on multiple platforms. So the CUT exam is happening for the first time. They cannot make it very, very challenging. Amitendra has shared this for so many times. So please relax.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Vedant, and thank you, Basu. And best of luck to all the candidates who are appearing for the exam tomorrow. We'll come back at 8 p.m. tomorrow with tomorrow's analysis. Do join us on the same platform at 8 p.m. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.